You know how to set a boundary with your boss. You know how to set a boundary with a needy friend. But do you know how to set a boundary with your own overwhelming anxiety? With your own explosive rage? With your own deep, bottomless grief? We are taught to be masters of our outer world, but we are often left as terrified children in the face of our own inner storms. We feel tossed around, overwhelmed, hijacked by our own feelings. And so we do one of two things. We either suppress them until they explode, or we act them out and cause damage to ourselves and others. But what if there is a third way, a path of profound power and grace? What if the most important boundary you could ever build is not on the outside, but on the inside? A boundary that allows you to feel everything without being shattered by anything. Today, guided by the deep wisdom of Carl Jung and the alchemists, we will explore the lost art of building your inner container. This is not a lesson on suppressing your feelings. It is a masterclass on forging the inner strength to consciously hold them long enough to hear their wisdom without letting them burn your house down. This is the foundation of all true emotional maturity. This is how you stop being a victim of your own heart and become its safe and loving home. The feeling of being overwhelmed by emotions is not a sign that you are too sensitive. It is a sign that you are human. And it is a sign that you have not yet been taught how to build a safe house for your own heart. Most of us live our lives as what the alchemists would call a leaky vessel. A beautiful but cracked ceramic pot. And our life force, our psychic energy, our capacity for joy and presence is the water inside. When our vessel is leaky, this precious water is constantly seeping out. We are not just reacting to our feelings, we are leaking them. And we are leaking because we have no container. This experience of having no container shows up in three primary ways. See if you recognize yourself in any of these. The first is emotional reactivity. This is the state of having no space between a feeling and an action. Anger arrives and it immediately becomes a sharp word or a slammed door. Anxiety arrives and it immediately becomes a frantic text message seeking reassurance. Sadness arrives and it immediately becomes a helpless, bottomless despair. You do not have a feeling. The feeling has you. You are a small boat hijacked by the weather. The second symptom is emotional contagion. This is the experience of being a psychic sponge. You walk into a room where someone is anxious, and you immediately become anxious. You have a conversation with an angry person, and you walk away carrying their rage in your own body. You cannot tell the difference between your weather and their weather. Your boundaries are so porous that you have become a dumping ground for the unprocessed emotions of the world around you. And you wonder why you are so tired. And the third strategy, the one so many of us learned as children, is suppression. This is the strategy of the strong one. Because our feelings feel so big, so overwhelming, so dangerous, we decide the only solution is not to feel them at all. We put a heavy steel lid on the boiling pot of our own heart. We shove our anger, our grief, our fear into the shadow. We believe we have gotten rid of them, but we have not. We have only created a pressure cooker, and that pressure will always find a way out. It leaks out sideways as passive aggression, as chronic anxiety, as a mysterious depression. Or it explodes. A sudden, terrifying rage over something small and insignificant. A panic attack that seems to come from nowhere. A complete and total burnout. This is not a failure of your strength. This is the inevitable result of a failed strategy. I lived most of my early adult life as a master of suppression. My persona was calm, rational, and in control. But my body was telling a different story. I had chronic migraines, jaw pain from constantly clenching my teeth in my sleep. My body was screaming the anger and the stress that my conscious mind refused to acknowledge. I was a leaky vessel, trying to pretend it was made of steel, and it was breaking me. Pause here with me, just for a moment. Do you recognize your own story in this? Are you the reactive boat, the absorbent sponge, the pressure cooker? There is no shame in this. This is not a diagnosis of a flaw. It is a diagnosis of a missing skill, a skill we were never taught. The great work of Carl Jung and of the alchemists before him was the art of the vas benclassum, the well-sealed vessel. They knew that for any true transformation to happen, for lead to turn into gold, the container had to be strong enough to withstand the intense heat and pressure of the process. It could not leak. It could not shatter. Your psyche is that alchemical vessel, and your emotions, your rage, your grief, your terror, your ecstatic joy are the fire. The goal of a conscious life is not to put out the fire. The fire is the life force. The fire is the agent of transformation. The goal is to build a container so strong, so resilient, so loving, that it can hold the fire. That is the path to wholeness. That is the master skill of all emotional and spiritual growth. So, how do we begin? How do we start to repair the cracks and forge this sacred inner vessel? How do we begin to forge this vessel? How do we turn our leaky, fragile pot into an unbreakable, alchemical crucible? The first and most important thing to understand is that this is not an intellectual exercise. You cannot think your way to a stronger container. You must feel your way there. The container is not an idea. It is an embodied experience, a felt sense of inner spaciousness and solidity. And it is built, moment by moment, through practice. There are 3 foundational practices for forging your inner container. They are simple, but they are not easy. They are the work of a lifetime. The first practice is anchoring in the body. When a strong emotion arises, our mind immediately gets hijacked by the story of the injustice that made us angry, the story of the future catastrophe that is making us anxious, and we get lost in the storm of our thoughts. The first act of building a container is to pull your attention out of the mental story and into the physical reality of your body. Specifically, into the parts of your body that are not part of the emotional storm. Feel your feet on the floor right now. Feel their solidity, their connection to the earth. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Feel the air on your skin. This is not a distraction. This is an act of anchoring. You are consciously telling your nervous system, even as this storm rages inside me, part of me is here. Part of me is grounded. Part of me is safe. You are remembering that you are the sky, not just the storm cloud. The second practice is the master skill, the sacred pause. I call this the 3-breath pause. The moment, the very instant you feel a reactive urge, the urge to send that angry text, to eat that comfort food, to snap at your partner, you stop and you take 3 conscious, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. That's 1. Inhale and exhale. That's 2. Inhale and exhale. That's 3. In these few precious seconds, you have performed a miracle. You have created a tiny island of space between the stimulus and your response. In this space, you are no longer a hijacked victim of your feelings. You have become a conscious choice maker. You are not suppressing the feeling. You are creating a container for it. And from that container, you can choose your response, instead of simply letting your unconscious reaction choose for you. This small act, practiced over and over, is the single most powerful way to rewire your brain for emotional resilience. I remember working with a man who was ruled by his temper. His anger was a wildfire that burned through his relationships. He didn't learn to stop being angry. He learned the 3-breath pause. At first, he said it felt impossible, a war inside him. But he kept practicing. The first time he did it successfully, in the middle of an argument with his wife, he said it felt like a superpower. He felt the surge of rage. He paused. He breathed. And for the first time, he chose. He chose not to say the hurtful thing. He didn't win the argument,
he won himself back. The third practice is called titration. This is a term from trauma therapy, and it is profoundly wise. It means you do not have to feel the whole ocean of grief at once. You do not have to dive into the heart of your rage all at once. You feel it in small, manageable doses. You allow yourself to touch the difficult emotion for a short, contained period, say for 60 seconds. You let the wave wash over you. And then you consciously shift your attention back to your somatic anchor, back to your feet on the floor, back to your breath. This practice builds your emotional muscle, your tolerance. It teaches your nervous system slowly and gently that you can survive this feeling, that it will not annihilate you. Pause here with me. Think of a difficult emotion you've been avoiding. Grief, anger, loneliness. Instead of imagining the whole terrifying ocean of it, can you imagine just dipping your toe in the water for just 30 seconds and knowing that you have the power to pull your foot back out and place it firmly on the solid ground of your own presence? That is a choice you always have. That is the art of titration. These three practices, anchoring, pausing, and titration, are the tools of the alchemist. They are the hammer and the tongs you will use to forge your inner vessel. Slowly, day by day, choice by choice, the cracks begin to seal. The vessel becomes stronger, and you begin to realize a profound truth. You are not your emotions. You are the safe, strong, and loving space that can hold them all.
The most profound and unexpected gift that comes from building your inner container is not for you. It is for everyone you love. When you are no longer a leaky vessel, when you are no longer a psychic sponge, when you are no longer a pressure cooker about to explode, you become something rare and precious in this world. You become a safe harbor. You become a non-anxious presence. Think of the people in your life you feel most at ease with. The ones you can tell your deepest truths to without fear of judgment. The ones whose presence alone seems to calm your own nervous system. What is it they have? It is not that they have no problems. It is not that they have no inner storms. It is that they have built a container so strong that they have the capacity to hold their weather and your weather at the same time. They can listen to your rage without becoming defensive. They can sit with your grief without needing to fix it or cheer you up. They can hold the space for your anxiety without absorbing it. Their peace is not dependent on your peace, and that is the greatest gift one human being can offer another. This is the work. To become that person for yourself first, and then naturally, effortlessly, to become that person for others. This is the heart of what it means to be a conscious parent, a true friend, a wise leader. I remember a profound shift in my relationship with my own son. He was young and, like all children, a vessel of pure, intense emotion. His tantrums used to hijack me. His anger would trigger my own repressed anger. His sadness would pull me into a vortex of my own unhealed grief,
I was useless to him in those moments because I was lost in my own storm. The work of building my own container changed everything. One day, he was having a spectacular meltdown. And for the first time, I did not get hijacked. I anchored. I paused. I breathed. I knelt down beside him, and I did not try to stop his storm. I simply held the space for it. I became the calm, quiet shoreline for his crashing waves. After a few minutes, the storm passed, as all storms do. He looked at me, his eyes wet with tears, and he said something I will never forget. He said, "Thank you for not being scared of my feelings." In that moment, I understood. The greatest gift I could ever give him was the strength of my own container. This brings us to a beautiful final image, a concept from the Zen teacher Joan Halifax. The goal of this journey is to cultivate a strong back and a soft front. The strong back is your inner container. It is your resilience, your boundaries, your connection to your own unbreakable core. It is the part of you that can stand firm in the storms of life and in the storms of your own heart. It is forged in the fire of your shadow work, in your willingness to feel your own difficult truths. The soft front is your open heart. It is your capacity for compassion, for empathy, for vulnerability. It is the part of you that can meet the world and the people in it with genuine, undefended love. And here is the secret. You cannot have a truly soft front without a strong back. Without a container, an open heart is just a wound. It leads to burnout, to enmeshment, to being a psychic sponge. It is the strength of the container, the strength of your own inner boundaries that gives you the safety to keep your heart open to a world that will inevitably break it. And it is the strength of the container that will allow you to hold the pieces and to heal and to open it again wider and wiser than before. Pause here with me. One last time. Feel your own back, your spine. Breathe into it. Feel its strength, its solidity. This is your container. Now, bring your awareness to your heart space, your chest. And on your next exhale, just imagine it softening, just a little. Strong back, soft front. This is the posture of the integrated self. This is not a goal to be achieved. It is a state to be inhabited right now. This is the freedom of being whole.
We have journeyed today into the heart of our own emotional storms. We have named the leaky vessel of our reactivity, our contagion, our suppression. And we have learned the three great body-based practices of the alchemist: anchoring, pausing, and titration. The tools to begin forging a new and unbreakable inner container. This work is not about becoming numb. It is not about building a fortress around your heart. It is the exact opposite. It is about building a foundation so strong, so grounded,
so rooted in your own being that you can finally afford to keep your heart open. This is the great paradox. The person with the strongest container is not the most defended person. They are the most open, the most compassionate, the most present. They can afford to be because they are no longer afraid of their own weather or the weather of the world. This is the great art of a conscious life, to cultivate a strong back and a soft front. The strength to hold your own center no matter what storm rages within or without, and the softness to meet that storm, not with resistance, but with a courageous and undefended love. So I invite you now to a final quiet practice, a small ceremony to honor the blacksmith of your own soul. This week, I invite you to focus on just one practice, the 3-breath pause. The next time you feel a strong urge to react, to send that angry text, to eat that comfort food, to snap at your partner, just stop for 3 breaths. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to solve the problem. Just create that tiny, sacred island of space. That is the moment you reclaim your power. That is the moment you are forging your container. In the comments below, I invite you to share one moment this week where you were able to create that pause. Let's celebrate these small, heroic acts of containment together. Once you have built a container strong enough to hold your most difficult feelings, you can finally afford to sit with them and to listen to their wisdom. In our next video, we will do just that. We will explore the surprising and even creative power hidden in the heart of your sadness. But for now, be kind to yourself. The forging is a slow art, but you are stronger than you think. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it.